recap talk about Oklahoma City, winning the whole damn thing. Talk about Tyrese Halliburton and him on the man with his Achilles tear, man. That was tough to see, bro.
Man, it broke my heart. I tweeted out the second
They're
it
showing
happened.
all the parade.
Yeah, bro, it was.
So he's gonna make good. You're gonna have to make good on the bet with Rudy now.
Man, he already posted it. He posted a crying meme of me, bro. It was AI generated. It was me in a Pacers jersey saying, it was I was covered in tears and whatnot. It says I was wrong, Rudy was right. She was embarrassing. Oh, it was embarrassing. My bad.
No, Rudy was wrong too because he said it was gonna happen in what 5 or 6 games.
He said Thunder in 6. I said no.
He guaranteed victory.
Yeah, caught him slipping. Hey, good morning, Jonathan. Good morning, Mario.
If you want to get at it, neither one of y'all won.
Yeah.
Neither one of y'all won.
We don't talk about that, Joe.
I would have been like, nah, man, this bet. I'd be like, nah, man, this bet's null and void, man. You said 6. You guaranteed victory. Like back in the day, Rasheed Wallace.
Yeah.
He guaranteed victory, bro. No.
Man, this ain't horseshoes. It shouldn't have counted.
Yeah, we're also gonna talk. Nah, we're also gonna talk about. We're on the eve of the NBA draft. What are the Spurs gonna do? Are they gonna make any moves? Everybody's saying, oh, they're gonna drop down in the draft. Why doesn't anybody talk about them moving up in the draft? It's crazy to me, man. They can actually move up in the draft with no issue if they just find the right team that wants to go ahead and, maybe make a deal with them. They have that 14th pick.
Welcome to another episode of the Area 210 podcast with Mike Jimenez and Joe Garcia. Make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. Join the discussion as we broadcast to you live from beautiful West San Antonio. And remember to tip your hosts as it helps the show grow.
All right. Well, we're live here. Something's stuck here. Doesn't let me move. All right. There we go. So thanks for joining us. We're going to be joined today by the one and only Seth Elias.
What's good?
Here joining us from Plead the Sith, part of Sweep the League over there TV. You can go ahead and follow them on YouTube and subscribe to their channel. We are without Mike Jimenez today because Mike, he missed his flight, he said, coming back from the Dominican Republic, couldn't clear customs. So Miguelito, he's one of us because they didn't let him back. They didn't let him in. Yeah,
Joe,
they didn't let him in. They didn't let him in the country.
I think what happened is that he kept going back for pat downs, bro, and they finally flagged him. They said, you're having too much fun with this. We're going to keep your ass.
Yeah.
Mike is busy.
Full cavity search, getting a little cute with it. Getting cute with it, man. Now they're going to keep you over there, bro. They're going to let you back in the country. So
you warned them. You warned them.
The TSA pat down. Yeah, he's getting the TSA pat down and putting on the gloves, getting the KY jelly ready for him and everything, Give him a full cavity search.
Man, I heard he's the one that provided the jelly, though.
Jason Garcia says, did he get caught by ICE? Who knows, bro? He being detained right now.
Jason, get this. He caught ICE on himself, bro. He was trying to cash out on those $2,000. It doesn't work that way, Miguel.
Look at what they said. Matt Gama says, show him your 1099, Mike. The 1099 and the W-2 aren't going to help you, bro. Hopefully he gets a flight and he gets his ass back to the States here. We'll see, man. He's got a long day of travel ahead of him, man. He said that in the chat, what was he saying? That the line for customs was about a mile long.
Yeah.
So
he's dumb, bro. He shouldn't need to leave earlier, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Our boy was having fun. He was out there acting a fool with the seaweed and whatnot, looking like Swamp Thing.
Yeah. I said, you can get in. You still get in the States, man, but you just got to take a little trip on the boat. Eventually.
I know some Cubans I'll cross you over for pretty penny.
Yeah, man. Take a little trip on the boat. You'll be all right, bro. They'll scoop you up. They'll scoop you up.
Man, the second they hear him say,
take the boat.
The second they hear him say throbbing, they're throwing his ass back over, Joe.
Oh, yeah, man. They're going to throw him back. They're going to let him back in. So they said they heard Mike's comments on this show. So they detained him. Yeah, man. For better or for worse, right? They detained his ass. So
Mike
he'll be coming back here, hopefully.
He don't know ball. Dumb, bro.
Oh yeah, he probably told him that. He said, "You don't know ball." Or no, you know what they said when they held him back? Do you know who I am? You don't know who? Do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? You gotta let me through.
Wow.
Oh God. Well, hopefully, Mike, wishing you safe travels back. Hopefully, you come back here sometime today, and you could do the show tomorrow. But we got to talk about the NBA Finals, man. And give congratulations to Oklahoma City. You know, they went ahead and won the NBA Finals, besting the Indiana Pacers. And this was not even close at the second half. First half was close. Second half was not even close. It was a blowout, man. Much to the dismay of Pacer fan out there. And you know, I wasn't a. I'll say I like I'm a Pacer fan. I was rooting for them for the Pacers to win. But as soon as I saw Tyrese Halliburton go down, man, I was like, that's it. I already knew, man. I said, that's it, dude. The guy, he pulled a tendon or snapped a tendon in the back of his calf or an Achilles. And it was the latter of the two. He came up lame with an Achilles injury there. Going to sideline him for most of, if not all, next season. So he's out, you know, and the Pacers right now aren't looking good as far as their chances of repeating next year and going back to the NBA Finals again without Tyrese Halliburton. But, you know,
No.
Oklahoma City did what they needed to do. They played great defense in that second half, and they were just able to kind of blow out uh, the Pacers by a final score of 103-91, and they go on and win the chip. And Shai goes on to have a great season, not only the MVP of the league, but the Finals MVP as well. So congratulations to him and Oklahoma City. They're the fans are celebrating right now in the streets as they had their parade, Elias, at 9 a.m. So they
All
showed the
20 of
players
those
coming
fans,
into
or
their arena.
all 20 of
Yeah,
those
all 20.
fans.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them, dude. There's a bunch of them right now, man. Everybody coming out of the woodwork. But, you know, this is the thing, Elias. What did you think, man, too, when you saw Tyrese Halliburton go down, man? You knew, you got that feeling in your gut, right?
Yeah, man. The second I saw it, I saw the way he reacted. I'm like, oh, he just blew his Achilles tendon. I've seen it happen so many times. It happened to Dame Lillard. I remember when it happened to Kobe. But Joe, the fact that you could see the pop in the replay, and they they kept replaying it. It's like the worst moment in his
Yeah.
life. They're like, oh, let's hype up this game 7 by showing homeboy get injured, right? I just knew, but he knew right away too. The way he started banging on the floor, yelling, "No, no, no!" That was pretty much it, man. But I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie, the Pacers almost made a believer out of me after that first half. I'm like, oh, this is their comeback story. They're gonna win it for Hallie. Shit, they were leading by 1 in halftime, but second half came around and they blew it, man. No one played with heart. Pascal was not even Pascal. TJ was the heart of the team. Almost brought them back in the third quarter, but other than that, no one else showed up. And everyone's saying, well, they were playing with a heavy heart. They were playing very emotional. Well, wouldn't you think, Joe, that they would be motivated to play even harder for Halliburton? I don't get it, bro. These excuses are already coming in that Pacers they were just emotional at the time that they had the game had Hallie not gotten down. Who knows, bro? It was a pretty good series. It was a close series overall. It wasn't going to be a guaranteed win by the Pacers. I just didn't want to see OKC get the ship. SGA is not my MVP.
No,
So no, man, it's flop city, bro. It was ridiculous the way he was playing Game 7. He was horrible on the floor. He was just getting rewarded for his free throws, and OKC's just a very unlikable team, Joe. That's all I gotta say, man. I'm not congratulating them on
very
this end.
unlikable team. Oh, there you go. There's a picture of Tyrese Halliburton, man, on the mend. Wishing him a speedy recovery, dude. I mean, for him being voted the most overrated player, he had a hell of a series against not only OKC, but you know, going in there against the Bucks, you know, and everybody else that they bested to get there. I mean, there's just a hell of a team, and you never know what they could have done had he remained healthy in Game 7. I think ultimately Oklahoma City would have won, but I think the game would have been a lot closer than advertised, you know, than the final score dictates. I think it would have been like a last second shot that would have went in for Oklahoma City, or who knows, man, it could have been a last second shot that went in for the Pacers. But either way, we'll never know because Tyrese is on the mend, man. So Pray for a healthy recovery for him, and hopefully we'll see him back soon. You know,
Sooner
here soon.
rather
I'm
than
a I'm
later.
a Tyrese Halliburton fan now, dude. The brother's just balling out, man, in the NBA playoffs. We got a incoming super chat here.
Money talks.
Here comes the money.
$1.99 from Sam Salinas. Thank you, Sam. He says, to Spurs insiders, check your sources. And you know what? That's the truth, man, because Musty Dusty out there was saying, hey, I guarantee that the KD to SA is a done deal already. And some of these other, in Spurs insiders that they keep on, trying to, I guess, name themselves as Spurs insiders on the X and social media out there, the Facebook, Insta, what have you. Basically, it's mostly on the X where we see these guys coming out of the woodwork trying to act like they have sources. They try to talk and use big words, and they say, my sources tell me this. Your sources don't tell you nothing. Y'all are a bunch of frauds, man.
Man,
Bunch
like
of
I was
frauds.
like I was telling everyone, the way they word their paragraphs and shit, Joe, it's like you remember those TV fortune tellers from back in the day? You call in and will predict your future, but they
Oh,
kept
yeah.
they kept everything so vague. They
Vague.
keep everything so vague in the way they speak. That's what a bunch of these MFers are doing, bro. They claim to have insiders, they claim to have their sources, but the second their sources don't go their way, they one up themselves and they say, no, we never said that. We said it was speculated. We said it was possibly. We said this. We said that. Man, no one knows shit other than what they see on X. And that's all it is. If you're not an insider, a legitimate insider, you don't have the information. There's just a bunch of cornballs coming out the woodwork. Especially like you said, Dusty got called out for it and he went on a blocking spree. Hey, but I just hit a whole new record, Joe. I got unblocked by Dusty for the third time and blocked again.
God, he blocked you just to unblock you, bro. That's petty bitch behavior, man. Just saying, dude. Just saying, dude. Oh, look at that. Matt Gomez says, hey, he goes, I got SAFC insider. MJ and his sources, yet he hit sitting at 200 level. Yeah. Well, just saying, it goes to show you that if you just go ahead and put out a vague tweet or anything on social media and say your sources tell you something, that you could never be wrong or right. You just put it out there and leave it to the interpretation of whoever's reading that. That's stupid.
Yeah,
That's
for
stupid.
sure.
If your
Man,
name isn't Shams or you're not working for the 4-letter network, you ain't got no money to have inside sources. You got to pay for your information, and none of these frauds out there got the money to pay. Bottom line.
Man, the funniest thing I've seen, I think it was Yahoo Sports quoted some of those fake source accounts
Oh,
like
man.
Eric Zhang and who's that other
Zang bang.
fella? Zhang Bang. Bro, they gave them credit on Yahoo Sports. I'm like, man, y'all really aren't doing your background checks, but it is what it is. Give these losers their 10 seconds of fame and just let them rock with it. They're no one special. If they were worth a damn, they'd be with ESPN and not X Media.
One of the things that I want Spurs fans to see and look at OKC hosting up the final trophies, and let it sting, because not too long ago in 2014, San Antonio Spurs were the pinnacle of basketball because they had won the NBA championship, and now they got a new sheriff in town here, which is OKC. And look at them, their youngest team, right? They have the youngest team. They have some of the youngest players in the league, and they're out there winning a championship. So Spurs fans can no longer say or use the excuse that this is a young team. The team is too young. They're too inexperienced. Look what Oklahoma City's done. We can't use that as an excuse anymore. You got to look to build towards the future, and it all starts with the upcoming NBA draft. The Spurs have their eyes set on the upcoming NBA draft, which is going to be happening tomorrow. Spurs have the number 2 and the number 14 pick. The big question is, what are the Spurs going to do? And from the chatter that I've been seeing, over here on, CBS Sports, ESPN, some of the other big names that you see out on social media that are reporting, it is being reported that the Spurs are going to want a big haul for that number 2 pick. More than likely, what's going to happen is the Spurs are going to just stick with their number 2 pick, and more than likely, they're going to go ahead and draft Dylan. Dylan Harper. And that's basically how the draft is going to pan out. Now, they could make a deal with somebody, but are they going to go ahead and get KD? No, because he's a Rocket now. So I'm glad that trade actually happened because now Spurs fans can put that to rest. KD coming to SA, I kind of knew it was never going to happen. It wasn't in the cards because the Suns were going to want a hefty haul for KD, and I just think that at the end of the day, the Spurs didn't want to give away their future for a win now mentality, and basically KD being a 1 year rental. I think the Spurs did the smart thing, and they're going to stand pat, and they're just going to go out there and they're going to get Harper. They're going to draft Harper. Now, the interesting thing, Elias, here, and I'm going to get your feedback on this. Why is no one talking about the Spurs possibly moving up in the draft and going from number 14 to a number 8 or number 9? Everybody's saying, well, they can go ahead and trade away the 14th pick and move down in the draft and get, let's say later picks or later selections in the first round or multiple. But I don't see that really happening at this juncture. I think the Spurs are going to entertain the thought of maybe, listening to offers for that 14th pick. But ultimately, the Spurs could move up if there's somebody they absolutely must have at a higher position. Moving from from number 14 to going up to number 9 or number 8, that's within reach with the San Antonio Spurs. I think that's something that could happen if they can go ahead and make the right deal with the team who maybe is eyeing some picks for the future growth, of their franchise. What do you think, Elias?
I think when it comes to the Spurs organization, they're not used to going against the grain, and so the fans aren't really expecting an out of pocket move like that, right? Like you and I were talking about beforehand, I think that'd be a perfect move. Jump up a couple of spots, maybe focus on getting a center at 8 or 9, someone worth the damn, right? Not saying we can't make that happen at 14, but if you're capable of moving up, why aren't you gonna pull the trigger on it? And Joe, it's just unlike the Spurs to do anything out of the norm, right? We're so vanilla when it comes to an organization. It's like we have our mind set on number 2, Dylan Harper. It is what it is. I didn't think they were gonna move on from Dylan Harper. Had KD decided to come to San Antonio, that would have been the only possible move I would have made. Maybe offered the number 2, but even then, I think the 14th pick, it's not as valuable as people make it out to seem. If we're able to bounce up a couple steps and go ahead and let it run, but it's just out of the norm, Joe. I think I think if the Spurs want to prove to us that this is a whole different squad, right? A whole different coaching staff, a whole different front office look, and go ahead and do something out of the norm. Why are we still sitting back and letting the rest of the organization pass us by? Go ahead, jump up, make that trade, offer the 14th pick, do something different that's going to motivate the fans and show us that they actually care. Show us that we're going on a different direction. Right now, we're just sitting stagnant, and it seems like we're going to repeat the same damn things we've been doing these last couple of years, Joe. I don't know. I don't believe they'll move up, but who knows? Maybe they'll make a believer out of us.
They can do something. They can do something interesting, or they can do something just far out of left field like they did last season, and trade away their second pick. They got the number 2 and number 14 pick. Spurs are in good position right now to actually do something worth the damn, and we'll see if that pans out or not for them. Hopefully it does, but as a Spurs fan, I'm tired of seeing other teams in the West pass us by. Other teams are getting better. Other teams are making moves in the offseason, drafting well, developing players. And you have the Spurs, on the other hand, that are on the decline, so to speak, because they finally went ahead and moved away from Pop because they had to, not because they wanted to. And you have Mitch Johnson that you named as your new head coach, unproven head coach right now. Yes, he did stand in for Coach Pop, but we really don't know what he's going to be able to do in the context of a full season. Give him the benefit of the doubt. All right, he's going to have the reins to make this his team and run it how he sees fit this coming season. But the big question mark is you still have the same roster. And again, the comparison is you look at OKC, young team, Spurs, young team. The difference is the level of talent that both teams have. The Spurs are still missing some pieces in order to compete at that high level. Right now, the Spurs just have a bunch of dudes. Once again, are you going to do anything to shore up your biggest question mark right now is the center position. What are you going to do for that? What are you going to do for an inside presence? Wemby's not going to play inside the paint. You're going to have to do something. And I just don't know if this franchise is capable of making the right decisions for the future of the team. They're going to go ahead and get best available player. I get that. But at the end of the day, if you do that, it's going to be a detriment to your team at some juncture because you need to go out and get size. You can't teach height, and that's one thing that they're missing inside the paint. And we're going to go ahead and bring on the other Sucio Chingon. Chris Leja, what's up?
What up?
What
Can you hear me,
up?
fellas?
Yeah, loud and clear.
I said the Spurs are on the decline because other teams in the West are getting better, and the Spurs team is still ain't worth the shit yet. And Matt Lerma saying on the decline? Yeah, on the decline, brother. When's the last time they went to the play-in or made the playoffs? That was years ago, man. This is a totally different team.
Bro, let's be real here. What have they done of a significant difference to improve this year? Obviously, people are going to say, oh, we got to wait for the draft. Man, fuck them picks, bro. Why do we got to keep bringing more and more rookies in, bro? Here's the thing. Is everybody that they compare, what's his name, Harper to, they compare, oh, he's like this player, he's like that player. And every player they mention is the number one guy on the team. So you're telling me that Harper is only going to be as good if he's the number one guy on the team? Like, what are we doing? We're just going to sit Wemby to the back of the line and say, you know what, Wemby, sorry, you're not the guy anymore. It's gonna be Harper. Like, what? I don't fucking see the point in drafting any more fucking players, bro. We need guys with experience, and that's it.
You don't like our project players, Leja? You don't like drafting people who could rebound but can't shoot worth a damn? You don't like sending motherfuckers overseas?
Man, send them all to China, bro. The Shanghai Sharks are looking for a couple of new players, bro. Send them over there. Bro, but let's be real. Let's be real, dude. I mean, I know you and Joe have a bet going on, for next season. You think, this team's gonna fucking make the playoffs, dude?
They would have made the playoffs this year, barring injury.
That's Elias.
They would have made the playoffs this year, barring injury.
Everybody keeps making that excuse, right? Oh, well, we would have been in the playoffs if it wasn't for the injuries. All right, Jeremy Sohan has been hurt every fucking year. Devin Vassell's been hurt every fucking year. Wemby has missed games both years. This year being the most, of course. Do we really fucking expect these guys to stay healthy for a full fucking season to actually compete? Because the only dog on this fucking team that can play 80 games is probably Stephon Castle, because he played 81 last year, and that's it.
Now we just need two out of the three Spurs you mentioned to be healthy, bro. Sohan and Wemby move the needle. Devin Vassell, Devin Vassell out is what I call him. Ship his ass to China, send him to the Blazers, make a trade with the Wizards, do something, get him off this team with that horrendous contract, bro. He's just as shitty as having Zach Collins on the team still. He's non-existent when he's on the court, and it is what it is. Joe, do you agree? Devin Vassell's not living up to his contract.
He hasn't been living up to the contract. He is who he is at this point. He's already reached his ceiling. He's just going to be one of those players that's going to be inconsistent. Consistently inconsistent. That's what you're getting with Devin Vassell.
Is Devin Vassell Booty Crumbs 2.0 at this point? Is that where we're going to go with?
He may not be Booty Crumbs, but he's the wet piece of toilet paper on your that gets stuck to the bottom of your shoe.
Right. It's hard to put Devin Vassell and Wemby on the court at the same time. They just don't mix well together, because Devin Vassell requires a lot of touches to go ahead and get his points. So he's taking those shots away from Wemby, or he's taking those shots away from other players. In my opinion, the offense is a little more stagnant when Vassell's out there kind of running the ship. He's going to be the guy that you're going to go to, and you're going to go ahead and feed him. It's not a very conducive offense, not a very efficient offense. And you're seeing some of the other teams that are better in the West, and their offense is a bit more efficient because they know how to go ahead and play fundamental basketball, setting screens, setting pick and rolls, kind of moving well without the ball. Their floor spacing looks better. And then you have the disparity of going from that to looking at the San Antonio Spurs, and it's the same thing season after season. They're all crowded in the paint. The floor spacing is horrible. Poor decision making with the basketball. Everybody kind of doing their own thing, doing ISO plays a lot. That's not team basketball. Moving the ball around the horn. Passing the ball well. Setting picks. Screens, pick and roll action. Doing something, forming some type of an identity out there. And I just don't think that the Spurs have done that as of yet. While they've added some other pieces in the off season here, or not in the off season, but in last season when they made the trade for Fox here. But at the end of the day, it's just they need to go ahead and get some other role players. They need to go ahead and get some other role players on this team that can shoot, that can help guard the wing, and possibly one of the big question marks that I have for this team. One thing that they need to address here is, what are you all going to do to address the center situation as far as putting size inside the paint? Wemby isn't going to be that inside presence in the paint while he's going to be a shot blocker. Yeah, that's great. He should be able to also help you get rebounds. Cool, but who else is going to be that guy that's going to bang bodies inside the paint? You need that inside presence. Bismack Biyombo, he ain't that brother, man. Come on.
He ain't Bassy with his mush knees, bro. He ain't him either. And you're right. When it comes to fundamentals, they just don't have it. The spacing last year was atrocious. How many times did we have them bouncing off each other like a couple of pinball idiots, bro? And rebounding's the name of the game nowadays. I know everyone credits the 3-point shooting in the NBA, but look at the difference in Game 7 when it came to offensive boards and second chance points, Joe. That was it. If we don't have anyone that could rebound, then it's over. Wemby can't do it all. Not only, I mean, he put on weight, so maybe we'll see him in the paint longer, but his cardio isn't there yet. He gets winded. He's not gonna, like I says, if they play him at this rate, he's not gonna make it the whole season. He's not healthy enough, or his lungs aren't how do you say it, sufficient enough to carry that type of load.
He's not built for the long term, bro. That's the thing these Spurs fans don't seem to understand. And I see the comments. I see Tony there talking about, I know concrete, but I'm amateur NBA GM. Here's the thing, bro. And shout out to Hanover Fist, because he also mentioned something about treating these guys like they're in a construction gig. Yeah, bro, here's the thing is, I do know how to run a business. And when the pieces ain't fitting, guess what we do to the pieces? We ship them off. We bring in better pieces. We bring in better fucking team players.
What's their name? Gone.
Exactly. Gone.
Bro, you cannot keep doing the same fucking shit with the same guys. Look, Devin Vassell, when before they drafted Wemby, before they landed number 1 pick, he was Mr. We Hoopin', right? And Mr. We Hoopin' was supposed to be the Robin to Wemby's Batman. Okay? And Devin Vassell is probably going to be the 5th option at best on this fucking team next year, if we're being real. And we're paying that man how much money? Nah, bro, he got to go.
Too much money.
Go. Yeah, too much money. Too much money. He has to go.
You said that, well, he did claim that he was going to be the Robin to Wemby's Batman. Well, he didn't claim it. A lot of people did, right? He's more like the Alfred, bro, or Commissioner Gordon. He just turns the light on for Wemby, and he doesn't show up. He lets Wemby do all the hard work.
Look at this comment. Look at this incoming comment from JHNSB.
Sohan is diamond soft.
JHNSB says, Sohan is diamond soft.
Bro.
And we have an incoming super chat from the Drew Show. Let me get to this real quick.
Money talk.
Here comes the money.
All right. So we got the Drew Show coming in hot here, and he goes, all these legacy players play like Papa. He goes, Curry can shoot. His daddy could shoot. Gary Payton, too. Candy Payton, 1 was the glove. Ron Harper couldn't hit the broadside of the barn. And this Harper will, saying that they might not be as good as their daddy,
Yo, July 26th, when he brings up Leija has the Lakers type of game plan, hates draft picks, makes others develop them. Isn't that what the fucking Spurs did with Derek White? Develop them and then ship them off to fucking Boston and go win a ring over there? I mean, what are we talking about? And then Tony says, anyone who gets negative on the Spurs right now are just impatient. Dog, if I had 6 straight losing fucking years in business, the IRS would shut me the fuck down, bro. They wouldn't let me stay in business if I kept reporting fucking so many damn losses. And that's what this fucking team has done. 6 straight fucking seasons of losing. What do you mean we're impatient, bro? We're not impatient. Bro, this shit is played out, is old. I'm done with it. Hey, but at least he said get rid of Vassell and Zohan. At least me and Tony can agree on that.
Look, and before people start claiming that I'm a big Jeremy
Look at that
Sohan lover,
Himbayama.
let's hear it. I do agree Devin is trash. He takes too many difficult shots.
Himbayama says that's why he's so inconsistent.
I mean, stop complaining and start hoping. Hoping for what?
And then
Hoping for your team to stay
we also
healthy?
got an incoming
Hoping
super
for-
chat here from
From
yeah, we
Sam.
got an incoming super chat from Sam Salinas. Let's get to that.
Here comes the money.
So Sam Salinas is saying, who was the consistent in that, or the constant in that? He says Sohan, he threw the game off with the lack of spacing, constantly looking lost, poor court vision, and the BS hero ball. But you know, that could be said of the way that the Spurs play a lot, even when Keldon Johnson's out there on the court, you know, putting his head down, just being a bull in a china shop and just, you know, trying to get to the rim, and either going to make the ball. I mean, you're either make the shot or it's going to turn into a turnover, or the other scenario is you get to the free throw line and hopefully you can go ahead and knock them both down to help the team. But I'm just saying the Spurs is currently constructed. This is probably going to be a team that most likely might get you to a play-in, and I believe that's the consensus that Spurs fans have going into next season, especially with this draft right now, with the Spurs having the number 2 and the number 14 pick. It's either playoffs or bust. I know Elias has said before, you know, he believes that the Spurs are going to be able to make the playoffs. First, they got to get past the play-in, you know, and the thing is that this team is soft, man. That's what I've been saying. The way that this team is constructed, they don't have an identity that they formed yet. You know, like in the past when the Spurs were going on those tears and those championship runs, they had an identity. They were known as the bad boys, the bad guys. They would always play the Death Star, the Star Wars music, you know, the Imperial March music for them when they would introduce them, you know, because they were a little bit shady down there, you know, and on the court, hip checking people, you know, and doing their thing. And okay, I'm with it, you know. Do you want to be the bad guy? Be the bad guy. Embrace it. But right now, they're just a little bit soft, man. That's all I've been saying as far as their style of play. And then when you're getting to a play-in, you have to play at a higher level to get past the play-in and get into the playoffs, you know? So I don't know if the team is capable of doing that just yet. We're going to see what they can do under Mitch Johnson's rule, but it's all going to start with the NBA draft. I mean, I'm going to ask you, Lehal, what do you think the Spurs are going to do with that number 2 and number 14 pick? Do you think they're going to keep number 2, or do you think they're going to trade away the number 14?
They're going to fucking keep the picks, bro. As much as I fucking scream fuck them picks and want them to trade them, they're going to keep the fucking picks. They're going to draft 2 fucking guys. They might ship off 14 for a fucking 20, 30-second first-round pick, because that's what they're good at. That's what Brian Wright's good at, right? Trading picks kicking the can down the road. And the second-round pick, they're going to fucking stash them away in Austin or keep them overseas, and we're going to be stuck with the same fucking guys over and over again. And that's all they're going to do. Because remember, this is a draft class. This is a draft class to change everything. This is a summer that was going to fucking solve all the problems. And here we are making excuses as to why we can't trade away a big, why we can't trade away a player, what to keep fan favorites. Because, I don't know, I guess we're just accustomed to fucking mediocrity around here, I guess, now. But, I mean, like I said on Sith's show the other day, y'all like losing? That's on y'all, bro. Y'all enjoy that shit? Cool. Y'all like being fucking losers? Cool, be a loser. By all means, bro. You do you.
Hey, but you know what? The consolation prize is you're going to have Fiesta jerseys this season. You know, that's what the Spurs try to tell you all the time. They try to fleece you guys with the shiny new merchandise. Oh, we're going to release the Spurs jersey again, the Fiesta jerseys. We're going to have new statement jerseys that are ugly as fuck, just plain silver or gray, whatever the color was that they had out there. Oh, we have a new sponsor that we're going to announce today. Who gives a shit? Do something else worth a damn.
The new sponsor is called Ledger, and somebody said they were going to put their logo is just a big fat L on the Spurs jersey. I was like, damn, bro. Shit. And
Yeah, bro. It's like we're rewarding
No,
mediocrity. That's what I've been saying. We're giving them a whole new arena. They voted to have an arena built for them. The prices at the Frostbank Center are just going up, along with parking. We're paying extra to see these motherfuckers come out and not give it their all. Man, it's just horrible at the moment. Between the two of y'all, is probably more positive, more positive one. I believe we're gonna get into playoffs. I believe moves will be made, not enough to win the championship, of course, but at least to get the ball rolling. Y'all act like 12 games added to the win column from last season isn't improvement. Like, what did y'all want? It's not gonna be night and day. We're not gonna get the Larry O'Brien championship, the title just after a couple of moves.
playoffs are bust, Elias. You better hope. They better hope they make it into the playoffs, because if not, I'm gonna see your face painted up in Fiesta colors.
Nah, man, you're gonna get that paint ready,
Yo.
Joe, because I believe in the Spurs, bro, and it is what it is. Y'all both sound like a bunch of haters on here. Where's Mike when I need him? Ice,
Dude,
let my
I'm gonna
boy
buy
go.
you the wrong
Man.
face paint too. I'm gonna buy you the wrong
Look.
face paint too. I'm gonna hope that motherfucker stays on at least a week.
Hey, I got a question for Tony, man. He says all these complaints, go be a Rockets fan now. I'm like, the fucking Rockets were in the same fucking position the Spurs were 2 years ago. Look at where they're at now, and they didn't draft the greatest generational talent in sports history. Why do
that, Chet?
Why do Spurs fans? Here's a question, bro. I got a question for Spurs fans. Why do y'all motherfuckers keep shitting on everybody else that everybody else sucks and nobody else hasn't won shit and hasn't done this and hasn't done that? But all these other teams y'all keep clowning on, they keep making the fucking playoffs and we're not in the fucking playoffs. We haven't even sniffed the fucking play-in. Why do we keep acting like we're this fucking great gold standards that we're not? This isn't the fucking early 2000s, the mid 2000s, the early 2010s. It's 2025. Fucking get with the program, bro. Like, why do y'all keep living in the past? I do not understand. And then people are like, oh, well, we had 25 successful years. Okay, cool. The fucking Bulls had 8 straight years where they were successful in the mid 90s, and they haven't won shit since then. Do we want to become the Bulls and say, oh, well, we have 5. We won 5. Yeah, the Bulls won 6 in the fucking 90s and haven't done shit since then. Like, why do we keep living in this fucking weird, like, past of, oh, well, we did this before. Dude, it's a new league. It's a new NBA. It ain't the fucking same, bro.
Look at that. Somebody's saying, where's Mike? Mike's been held up, man. He missed his flight. They let him back in the country yet, man.
Mike has a finger somewhere where the sun don't shine.
He was getting pat down by the TSA again, man. That's what he was saying.
And he kept going back for
He's holding up the
seconds.
line.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah,
But
he's holding up the line right now.
Leha, you're upset that we keep referencing those 5 championships we won. Bro, we were a dynasty at one point. We should be proud of the franchise we come from. And before you start saying, oh, we are a fucking Cowboys fan, yes, I am. Let's look at it. Property of the Dallas Cowboys. I'm a student of the game, bro. I believe in the Spurs. I believe that we'll be back in that championship circle eventually, sooner rather than later. I didn't mean to say eventually. That just contradicted everything.
You know what Tony hates more than anything? When I compare Spurs to the Cowboys, man.
I was about to say, bro, he's gonna get mad right now. Elias is used to being patient, man. So I'll give him that. He's been waiting 30 years for the Cowboys to win another one. So he still has time. He's not worried about it.
And
all right,
Rafa,
well, look, check out the
look at
comparison. Check out the comparison. All right, we got a new head coach. It's his first year. We're already prejudging him for what the last person did, right? Us being Pop, Cowboys being Mike McCarthy. We wanted a second wide receiver for CeeDee Lamb. We brought one in. We wanted another all-star player for Wembenyama. We brought in Fox. You know, it's just parallel right now. That's the only reason why I compared the two. And they both have 5 championships in their dynasty, you know, so the comparison's easy to make. Regardless if it's the Spurs or the Cowboys, I'm holding on to the positivity that we're going to be back in the playoffs. We're going to be making moves. We're going to make our run sooner rather than later. I mean, granted, I hope it comes before World War III, but we're going to get there. Trust me.
You know, one of the things that I was going to say is that when you're looking at the Spurs roster, at the end of the day, the Spurs don't have to do anything outrageous by going out there and trading away a lot of these let's say players that they have that become fan favorites like Sohan and Vassell or Keldon. I mean, Keldon's contract is attractive, because it's tapering off as far as the money that he's owed as he gets near the end. Devin Vassell's
Right.
contract is going to be coming up here. And you have Sohan, who's going to be in a contract year. At the end of the day, you don't have to go ahead and just, be forced to trade them and make bad deals. What you can do, if you're the Spurs front office, is look out there and look towards adding some veteran talent to this team. Doesn't mean you have to go out there and get bona fide all-stars or superstars. You just need to get people that are good role players. If you look and see what the Pacers have done, the Pacers, they did a great job with their team, and look at what they were able to do. Oklahoma, they put together a great team, but it takes time. I understand that. I'm just saying, you don't necessarily have to go out there and bet the farm for a win now mentality like the Rockets did with Kevin Durant. What you can do is be smart about it and go out there and get some, like I said, either some veteran players out there that are going to be real good role players, and you can go ahead and fit them with this team. You can go ahead and address the issue with shooting from beyond the arc. You can go ahead and address the issue with getting a center there that can complement Wemby and play inside the paint. I mean, the Spurs weren't known for having all-star centers back in the day, except for David Robinson. You had Will Perdue, the Rasho Nesterovic. You had other players there playing the center position, Tiago Splitter, Fabricio, that they just played the role and they played it well. It means that doesn't mean that they're not going to be a starter. It just means that that's all they're going to be as a role player. There's nothing wrong with that. And that's all I'm saying. At the end of the day, I think if the Spurs just stand pat with maybe what they have now and add to it and go and get some veteran leadership on the team, like we saw they did with CP3, that can be more conducive to the Spurs winning and getting that winning culture back. And also maybe it'd be enough for them to get to a play-in and beyond. That's just my 2 cents. So what do you think, Elias?
No, I think you're definitely right. Look how much adding Chris Paul and Harrison Barnes did for the squad, bro. Like I said, we have 12 more wins than we did last season. And I'm gonna give them credit because who were they holding up on a pedestal more than CP3 if not Harrison Barnes, who knows what it's like to be a champion. And I'm with you. Why not bring in a veteran presence like that? It doesn't have to be a Giannis Antetokounmpo. It doesn't have to be a Kevin Durant. We just need people that are gonna mesh well with the ones that we have now. I think our starters are good to go. We're set, bro. I'm happy with who we have starting at the moment. It's our bench that needs the help because a lot of these games we were holding on to a lead. Whether it was 3 by 3 points, 4 points, then that second unit would go in, and man, they just shit the bucket because there was no guidance. Like you said, when we had the likes of Keldon Johnson leading that squad, that's when it's bad, bro. Like you said, he's a bull in a china shop. It's just a uncontrolled chaos.
Puts his
When
head
it
down.
works, when it works. Yeah, when it works, it works. For the most part, they just didn't click.
Yeah, we
but if
got
you
some incoming super chats we got to address real quick. This one's coming in from the Drew Show, so we're gonna go ahead. I lost the ability to play the music because I kind of killed the soundboard, but we're gonna go ahead and say thank you to the Drew Show for the $5 incoming super chat, and thank you everybody for the $5 for their super chats that came in. We greatly appreciate it. He says, "Pride cometh before the fall." Elias, we fell hard like a M and F'er, like Marcellus Wallace said. He says, pride F's with your head, F pride and F them picks.
touche. I'll give you.
You see what Leha's starting the F them picks movement, man. Oh, look, we got an incoming super chat from Tony Ornelas here. Thank you, Tony. Appreciate the super chat. He says, negative Spurs fans are really just upset Cowboy fans. He goes, they blame Jerry, not the Spurs. Do nots, or whatever. He goes, Spurs are going to win the finals before Cowboys win Super Bowl. We'll see about that one, man. Go ahead, Elias.
No, I was gonna tell you if you really want to see Leha go off the rails, bring up the trade between KD and the Rockets. Leha, what did you think about the package they offered Kevin Durant? And do you think the Spurs could have matched that easily?
Hold on. Let me get myself controlled because I don't want to upset anybody in the chat for cussing or for being so negative all the time. The Rockets gave up 5 second-round draft picks. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
5 second-round draft picks. Okay. They gave up the number 10 pick, which I believe originally belonged to the Suns, right?
Yes, sir.
It was the Suns pick.
Yeah.
So they gave them back their pick, and they gave up 2 players, Jalen Green and bum-ass Dylan Brooks, because I will forever call that motherfucker a bum. Forever. Forever bum Dylan Brooks. And 5 second-round picks. And some people will tell you, well, the Rockets got fleeced. They got a 36-year-old Kevin Durant. And apparently some people say he's going to be 38 this coming year. I don't know how that math works and how birthdays work in the NBA. They might be on a different timeline than us here, us normal human beings that don't play in the NBA. But Kevin Durant, man, put up, 27 points per game? And we're acting like, we got players on this team that are better than him. And we couldn't. And the other problem is was it the Spurs didn't offer enough, or was it that the Suns looked at Devin Vassell and were like, nah, we good. Like we don't want that fool here. We don't want it. Is Devin Vassell so great that only Spurs fans see it and the rest of the NBA doesn't see it? Because everybody's always saying, oh, well, Jeremy's going to be so great, and this player is going to be so great, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, bro, how the hell is it that every other player in the NBA that Spurs fans will sit here and say, hey, let's fucking go draft this guy. Oh, no, he's not worth it. His defense isn't that. His offense isn't this. Oh, he demands the ball too much. Oh, it's always an excuse to bring in another player. And it's always an excuse to keep the team we have. It makes zero fucking sense to me whatsoever, bro. But the fact that the Rockets, who were the number 2 seed, and they're going to be commenting saying, well, they got bounced in the first round. Well, remember, the Spurs got bounced in the first round as a number 1 seed before by Memphis back in the day as well. So let's not forget about that either. All right, we're going to keep talking about what happened, what didn't happen. I mean, it's happened to the Spurs too. Teams get bounced in the first round because another team gets hot at the right time. And the Golden State Warriors, if it wasn't for Steph Curry going out in the second round, who knows how much further they would have gone. Because you can't count out Steph Curry. That's for damn sure. But they were the number 2 seed in the West, and they added Kevin Durant for what I feel like is nothing. Because to me, second-round picks don't really mean much, because most of the time, second-round picks usually don't work out, or they're just journeymen in the NBA. I mean, you have, of course, your Joker, your Manu, those players that every so often come out and they're legendary, they're great. But for the most part, second-round picks, I mean, they don't do a whole lot. But
Look at Big Sean PD. I like this comment from him. He says, "Not this Spurs fan. I already changed Vassell's name to Gone."
Hey, Chris, and you got to remember, the Suns are looking to offset Jalen Green, so they actually got Kevin Durant on their side for even cheaper, bro. They got him for
they move him.
They got him for Dylan Brooks and 5 second-round draft picks. I think the number 10, the second-round draft picks, 5. Yeah, I was fucking correcting myself for. They got the number 10. They got the number 10 draft pick. I think that was a difference maker. I don't think the Spurs were willing to offer. I guess they wanted the number 2, and Houston was willing to offer that whole package and the number 10. But I don't know, bro. I think that the number 14 should have been good enough. I would have offered them Vassell, Kelvin, the number 14, and a hug and a kiss or some shit, bro. We could have made that deal happen for Kevin Durant. But it just contradicts everyone on social media. It says, oh, the Suns didn't like the package that the Spurs offered. And then we have people from ESPN saying, oh, they never put in an offer. So which one is it? It's hard to keep up with what's on social media nowadays, because we have the AI all-stars saying, oh, this was the package that was promised. And we have ESPN saying, man, y'all don't know shit. Nothing was offered to them. So which one is it? It seems like they're just yo-yoing us fans all around, and it's just a pawn to get us all to turn against one each other and go against the team. That's the way I see it. I mean, look, it already split the room here, bro. So
look, man, at the end of the day, bro, all I want is for this team to win, right? That's it. I mean, I think that's the one thing all Spurs fans can agree on, right? We want this team to
Yeah.
succeed, make the playoffs, continue to make the playoffs year in and year out, and win some championships, right? We all have a different version of how this can go down, right? We have a different view on it, different perspectives. And I don't know ball, you know what I'm saying?
Dude,
So
why?
I mean, I'm just a fucking concrete guy. That's it, you know? I just I'm a like Tony said, we're comparing construction businesses to sports organizations, right? I'm just a guy running the business with my brother, and that's it, bro. You know,
Man, you
and
must have not
it,
Laying
watched
down that
my
diamond hard concrete.
that's right. We just laid down some diamond hard concrete this morning. You got to go check on it here in a little bit.
man,
We're on multiple jobs today, back and forth between San Antonio and Canyon Lake. So a lot of moving back and forth today. But look, man, all we want is this
Yeah.
team to
And let's
succeed.
not forget that Chad is powered by MCS General Contracting as well.
You already know it. You already know. But yeah, man, look, at the end of the day, I just want this team to win, make a run, because holy shit, dude, for the next year we have to listen to, hey, we Chet has the ring and Wemby doesn't. And it's like, holy shit, bro. Really? Now we gotta
You know
listen to
what?
that for the
Here's
next
the
year,
thing.
bro. We have to
Put
listen
this
to
on a
OKC
shirt,
fans run
Leha.
their
Put
mouth.
this on a shirt. Put this on a shirt. Chet is holding up a trophy before Wemby, right? So that means fans don't know shit.
man. I definitely don't know shit. Did y'all catch
No
my
pun
fan episode?
intended, bro.
Did y'all catch my fan episode of Los? Man, they cooked my ass alive in the comments, bro, just because I didn't agree with him. That motherfucker doesn't represent the fan base. He's not even from San Antonio. He doesn't know ball. I mean,
There's a lot of Spurs fans not from San Antonio.
but it is what it is, bro. We're just a fan base that's never going to be satisfied. Because the second we get that title, we're going to start cutting down on those that didn't make the journey with us, you know? It says, oh, okay,
But
we get the championship. Tell me people aren't going to say, oh, Coach Mitch did something that Pop couldn't do. And here we go, attacking the old guy again. No disrespect, my old guy. It just came out. I didn't mean it like that.
hey, but the funny thing is, man, is I used to be real chill on fucking Twitter, man, when it came to the Spurs. And it wasn't until all these fools started coming at me and others talking about you don't know ball, you don't know, and it's like, bro, you don't know ball either. Because if you knew ball, you'd be working for the Spurs. If you knew ball, you'd be working somewhere leading the sports team, but you're not. And Tony says OKC didn't say F those pigs. That's why they got a trophy. I mean, they did trade for SGA. So, I mean, they did go out and get Alex Caruso from the Bulls. So they made moves. Look, when I say, okay, let me make sure people understand what I mean by F them pigs, because
Backpedal.
we were
Backpedal.
told,
I'm just kidding.
no,
I'm just
it's
kidding.
not backpedaling, bro, because I want to trade them picks away no matter what. But the thing is Wemby was supposed to be the guy that we were supposed to build around, right? And then it became we sucked again, right? We had the same wins as the year before we got him. We got Castle, and it was okay. We got Castle, and he balled out rookie of the year as well, right? And then now it's we got lucked into the second pick. We can't trade it away because Dylan Harper's gonna be so great. He's gonna be so great. And it's like, at what point do we say enough with bringing in rookies? Because eventually you can't pay them all, and you're gonna have to pay them all. If Harper does become a rookie of the year, right? You're gonna have to pay Wemby. You're gonna have to then pay Castle. You're gonna have to then pay Harper. Now, there's gonna be a fans gonna say, well, actually, the way the Spurs work, these guys are gonna take deals to take less money. Why do they have to take less money? Why is it that we have to keep being that organization that has to continue to ask people to take pay cuts and get paid less? Why don't they just pay them what they're worth? But you can't keep drafting players and then keep them on here and then giving them all max contracts. Because eventually that shit is going to turn out the way it is in Boston, right? What happened with OKC? They had to get rid of Westbrook and Harden. They had to let those guys go. They had to let go of Durant because they couldn't afford to keep paying them, because those guys all turned out to be great. My biggest thing is we end up with 3 straight rookie of the years, and then what? You know? What do we do then? Okay, what if these guys want all their money, and then what do we do at that point? But that's of course kicking the can down the future. But I'm just tired of drafting players, and then you had 2022 where we drafted 3 first-round picks: Jeremy, Malachi, and Blake Wesley. 2 of them don't even set the court. So what's the point?
So
What's the
two
point of
bench
drafting all these
warmers
players?
and a decent rebounder.
Yeah,
Two
and
bench
that's it.
warmers and a rebounder.
And the reason why OKC also succeeded was because he took Chip England away from us. And
Oh,
that's one thing that will forever haunt the Spurs, bro. So
Hey, so I was going to share this with everybody here as well, just so they know what's going on. We did open up a new, well, we have our, not a new show, not a new store, but we have our online store now. Hopefully I can show
the
it here on
merch.
screen. We have a new online store that opened up here with new merch. We have a new logo there. People are a fan of the logo. I know, Elias, you like the Alamo
yeah,
City
that's
Podcast Network
that was my
logo.
favorite. That's my favorite from the whole bunch, Joe. I'm gonna need that on the shirt, bro.
The logo.
The logo,
And
yeah.
then we have the other ones. We have the ones that you guys have been asking for. The shirts are there. You have the San Antonio shirt. You have the money shirt with Mike on there. That Mike's likeness on there. It says "Make more money." And what's his name gone? We have the fuck them
Gone.
picks that I know Leja's a fan of right there. Sneaky Athletic. There's the Alamo City Podcast Network tee and the Area 210 tee
Bangers.
there in black and white. You can get it in light colored, let's say light colored shirt of your choosing or a dark colored. And we all these shirts have patches on the left hand side of the sleeve. Some of them have the Alamo City Podcast Network shirt, and others are going to have the Area 210, little patch there on the left hand side of the sleeve. So if you want to go ahead and check those out, we greatly appreciate it. And I'll go ahead and also flash the QR code. If you all want to buy the merch, just scan that QR code, take you straight to our fourth wall shop there. And anytime you purchase a shirt, it does help the show grow. So we appreciate it, man. That's enough of that commercial. We're gonna get back to Spurs
Hey,
talk.
hey, and real
Damn, the
quick,
king of
I'm a
promos, bro. That was a good fucking commercial, Joe.
I'm a big time Spurs hater and whatnot, and I don't know ball, but go ahead and pick 4 listeners, man, from the chat today, and then hit them up in the DMs and tell them to pick a shirt, and I'll send it their way on me.
Yeah,
You
we're
bill it
gonna
to
go
me.
and pick
Pick,
probably some
pick
of the
four, pick
best.
four, pick the most positive Spurs fans if you want, because I'm Mr. Negative. I want to give back to the positive Spurs fans today.
Hey, bro.
So go ahead and pick
Well,
4 of them.
if
See
if
what shirt
that's
they
the
want.
case, our boy Tony Ornelas deserves one of them. I'll vote for Tony if
Go
I'm
go ahead,
getting one of them.
go ahead and hit up Tony. Tony, if you're still listening, bro, I got you on the shirt, bro. Hit up Joe. Hit him up. Tell him what shirt
Yeah,
you want, what size. I'll get it
I'm
ordered
gonna
for you,
send him the
man.
fuck them pick shirt. I'm gonna send him the fuck them pick shirt.
That way he thinks about Chris every time he's wearing it, right?
Oh,
Hey,
all right,
Joe,
fellas.
when
I'll
you
put a couple MCS stickers in there too.
Yeah, I'll throw in some MCS stickers in there for him too. You know what? Fuck it. I might throw in a hat in there for him too as well, man. Well, we'll
that's
take
love.
we'll take care of Tony today.
There you go.
Tony has been. I'll give Tony that. Tony has been a supporter from the jump. He's always been in here. Whether or not me and him agree on sports or whatever, that's whatever, man. It's all love at the end of the day. Like I said, get that man's information. We're gonna send him a hat. We're gonna send him some stickers. We're gonna get him a shirt. He can pick whatever shirt he wants. And if he doesn't pick a shirt, we are gonna send him the fuck them pick shirt. All right. But on the real, man, I gotta go get some material and shit and get back to the job sites. Y'all be easy, man. Y'all stay blessed. Remember, we don't have sources. We just have sauces. All right.
USOA, baby, USOA sauces.
There
You'll
you
be on the
go.
lookout for that merch too,
Play all
baby.
day,
Leja's the people's champ. All right, Leja, we'll let you
man.
go, brother. Thank you, man.
I'm just a dude. That's it, bro. Just a guy. I ain't no champ. I am the OTC Sucio though. That's for damn sure. Y'all be good, man.
All right, man. Laters, man. Thanks.
Hey, yo, Joe, when you were
All right,
showing
so
off
it's
the
just me and you
merch,
now, only.
when you were showing off the merch and you said light colored, I know Mike's ears perked up somewhere. He's like, light color.
Like what?
The
Yeah,
light,
so we'll have Tony or Nalis. You're gonna go.
Tony
We're gonna
Ornelas.
send him a shirt, and we'll send some other people some shirts here.
Yeah, man, but I'm
Big Sean
telling you,
PD goes, send me a Gone shirt if you pick me. You know what, Big Sean PD, I will pick you, brother, because you know what? He's been in the chat and he always has some good takes, dude. So I like you, man. I'm gonna go ahead and send you a shirt too. You want that Gone shirt? I'll get you one, man.
How about
Tony
Sam?
Ornalis has
How
been
about
here.
Sam
We also have
Salinas
some others.
cooked me pretty good too. He cooked me pretty good today. I say we get him a shirt, Joe.
Yeah, Sam Salinas. Yeah, we'll give Sam Salinas a shirt as well. And the other one that I'm gonna send a shirt to, man, I'm gonna send one to probably another listener here who has been there from the beginning as well, and that's Mario Cavazos, man. I'm gonna get with Mario and tell him he can go ahead and select a shirt as well. But yeah, you can go ahead and check out the new merch we got going on in the store there again on the fourth wall. So I know a lot of people have been asking for the merch, but there's still some new designs that are going to be coming out here soon. So you guys got to keep an eye on that. But before we go any further, man, let's go ahead and give some love to MCS General Contracting. You just saw El Jefe right here on the show just a little while ago of MCS General Contracting. That would be Chris Leja. So we're going to go ahead and give him some love, and we'll come back here. MCS General Contracting, more than 30 years of combined experience in concrete placement. They are the best in the business, honest pricing, high quality work. They get going on house foundations, driveways, concrete patio decks. If you want to extend the deck, extend the driveway. If you're a business and you need to put together a slab, a parking lot, or other concrete placement services or sidewalks, reach out to MCS General Contracting at 210-774-9155. They're confident in their skills, so give Chris Leja over at MCS General Contracting a call at 210-774-9155. And thank you for being a sponsor of this show. Yeah, we appreciate everything that MCS General Contracting does for the show here. We appreciate y'all's support. And we're going to go ahead and give them some love here because the chat, like we said, is powered by MCS General Contracting. And make sure you go and look to them for all your contracting needs as far as the game when it comes to concrete, man. They're number one in the game here. You can go ahead and give them a call. Their number is 210-774-9155. Call them for your commercial needs. If you're a business and you need a parking lot or you need an ADA compliant ramp, or if you're just, a homeowner like me and you need a slab in your backyard, maybe make a pickleball court, you're making a basketball court or putting in pool, go ahead and give MCS General Contracting a call. They're not always going to do it the cheapest, but I guarantee you they're going to do it right the first time because you're paying for those years of experience. Go ahead and give them a call, 210-774-9155. All right, we're going to go ahead and keep on moving here. We're going to be talking about the NBA draft that's going to be coming up here tomorrow. And I'm going to show you all something here because CBS Sports just released a new mock draft. And we're going to go ahead and try to show this on screen. We're having some trouble here as of today. I don't know what's going on. Maybe there's an update that happened here, and I need to restart my computer. So apologies about that.
No, it's here.
And for the
Mike's
stuttering
messing.
of the show.
Mike's messing with the system behind the scene, Joe. He's jealous that we're on
It's
here. And
everything's
he's
kind of. Yeah, here we go. So here we go. We're gonna go show you the CBS mock draft. It's interesting to me because across the board, everybody has the Spurs standing pat with the number 2 pick at Dylan Harper. And then at the number 14 pick, that's where things get a little bit interesting. Some of the CBS mock draft staff have put at number 14 the Spurs pick in Liam McNeely. And at number 14, this is a new name that I started hearing about yesterday. Spurs are being linked to Cedric Coward out of Washington State. He's a shooting guard, and McNeely is a small forward there. So just something to keep an eye on, man, as you get closer and closer to the NBA draft. And the big question mark is, what are the Spurs going to do? Are they going to stand pat at number 2 and just, keep their pick, which I think they are, or are they going to make any moves at the number 14 pick? I think either way, I think the Spurs are going to keep their picks. I think they're going to keep both of them. I don't really see them doing anything with the number 14 pick, unless the team absolutely makes them an offer they can't refuse. But either way, I'm looking forward to the NBA draft that's going to be happening tomorrow, because again, this is going to be something that's going to be, if you're a Spurs fan, you're looking to see how they're going to build for the future, and how good is this team going to be this upcoming season. Spurs fans are going to want something to get excited about, and I think this is it. So, Elias, what do you think, man? What do you think is going to happen tomorrow?
Hopefully they trade off the number 14 pick, bro. We need a big. I'm tired. Just them projecting to be taking another guard or another forward tells you a lot. That's the project player in the making. They're gonna end up in the G League. They're gonna ship them off overseas. I don't think that person's even gonna see playing time. So why waste a pick and use it as a trade asset, right? Partner it up with one of our bench players and let's see if we could get a big from someone else. It doesn't have to be an all-star. A lot of people are so committed to Spurs trading only for like huge all-star names. I mean, that's not what it is. We need a big and we're pretty desperate for it. Wouldn't you say, Joe? Because Wemby's not going to be able to do it all. The only two motherfuckers on the team that rebound are Sohan and Wemby's not going to be on the court throughout the whole game. We need another big. Biombo is not going to work out. We need a trade for like a Bam or I don't get why the last season we didn't go after the likes of Mo Bamba. We don't need another offensive threat. We have plenty of those. We need a rebounder. We need someone that's gonna act as an oxygen tank for Wemby, meaning that when Wemby's not on the court, they'll be able to keep up with the defensive presence that Wembenyama is. So yeah, in my book, if they don't move the number 14 pick, it's gonna be a wash. The number 2 is a given. Dylan Harper, welcoming him with open arms. But I don't know. What are your thoughts of them saying that Dylan was promised a starting position? What are your thoughts on that?
I think that's just a bunch of nonsense. I think it's just something that's being put out there just for, clickbait. I don't think he's been offered a starting position. How are you going to go ahead and offer a brother a starting position if you have not officially made the announcement when it comes to the NBA draft that you're going to go ahead and pick him? I'm sure they have some type of gentleman's agreement behind the scenes. Spurs are known for doing that. But to go ahead and give an unproven rookie the okay that you're going to get and, you're going to have a starting position waiting for you, that's a bunch of nonsense, in my opinion. Like I said, it's just all done for clickbait. And we do have a $2 incoming super chat from the Drew Show, and he goes, "It's San Antonio. Do they have that many XXL shirts?" Believe it or not, they do. They come in big boy sizes over here, man. Either the shirts that they give away, and that's true story, man. When you go to the games, right? You go to the Spurs games, or you go to any like game that they have here, baseball, for example, with the missions. The shirts that they usually give out for free, they're gonna be XL.
Yeah.
They all are all XL. So, one size fits most. That's what they call it, right, Elias? One size fits
One
most.
size fits most, for sure. Man, I'm a big boy all around, Joe. Even my cap, it's on the last button and it's squeezing the shit out of me, bro. So,
Jeez, bro.
we're gonna have to level up, size up when it comes to that too.
Hey, speaking of that, man, again, man, I'm wearing my merch right now. So if y'all want one of these shirts,
Yo, and
gotta get with it.
I recommend y'all look into the shop, bro. The quality's good. Joe, he's a man of his word. He waited until he got the product before putting it out there to
Yep.
make sure that the quality is up to y'all's needs. I'm gonna go ahead and cop me one of those Alamo City shirts so I could wear over on Sweep the League TV during my show, Plead the Sith, where I'll hopefully have you on, Joe, and see if you're willing to take the hot seat, brother.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and be on the show here. We got to find the time to coordinate because I know 4th
Yeah.
of July. I'm still up in the air to see what I'm going to do on 4th of July, but I'll definitely let you know since I'm going to be off that weekend. So if I'm off that weekend, especially Friday, I'll be off Friday. I'll be off Saturday and Sunday. We can probably make something happen then.
Yeah, I'm all for it. I mean, I don't celebrate 4th of July being that I'm illegal. No, I'm playing.
Oh,
It's an
Lord, here we
ongoing
go,
it's
man.
an ongoing joke. Y'all know. If you know, you know.
And look at this. Chris Gonzalez says, "Hey Joe, are you going to have different colors or just black?" No, we have black, white. There's a bunch of different colors you can choose from the shop there as far as the different colored shirts, So I'm not gonna say that every color looks great with the logo, but I kind of purposely did it for both dark colored apparel and light colored apparel. So you have a logo that can go ahead and kind of suit your needs there. You just don't have to get the black or the white version. There's a bunch of different ones out there. Same thing goes with most of our shirts, except for the Alamo City Sportscast logo. I made that one transparent on purpose. So if you try to put it on like a light colored shirt, it's not going to look good, but I'll go ahead and kind of tweak the logo a little bit more for you guys to give you more diversity, should I say. But I had to actually order my own shirt for one to see what the quality was like before I go ahead and put it out there for you guys, like Elias was saying, because I wanted to make sure that it looked good. I didn't want to have y'all having to spend your hard-earned money and buy blurry shirts. The graphic looked blurry on the shirt. It didn't look good or was flaking off, things like that. So I made sure that the shirts are good quality too. The shirts that are coming from Fourth Wall, man, they're nice. They're nice. They're comfortable. They feel good, dude. So that's important. And best of all, they look good. So make sure you go in and check out the shirts in the shop today. And let's go ahead and get to some of these other these other comments here. Look at this. July 26th. He goes, "Where this is our year shirt for Cowboys fans." No, man. And look at Tony Ornelas said Leja made his day. Good for you, Tony. I'm glad you liked Christopher Leja. He's a man of the people, man. And look at that. Jonathan Pettis says the merch is fire. Thank you guys. I'm glad you all are enjoying the merch because that took me almost all weekend. I was kept on kind of showing you guys what I was
Yeah.
working on in the chat, Elias. So I was in the lab, bro, creating stuff. I made all these
Cooking.
shirts.
Joe's in the lab cooking for y'all. He's a man of the people. He's for the people. This show's ran by the people. So, it all comes full circle. He just wanted to put out a good product for y'all. But Joe, I read a comment saying that Dylan Harper's father might be an issue. What's the backstory behind that?
Ron Harper, I don't know, man. I think he just is really involved. I think that's what it means. He wants the best for his son. So he will probably be in the ear of the Spurs front office, probably in the ear of Mitch Johnson, saying, hey, I want my son to do this. I feel my son should be playing more minutes, that kind of thing. A dad trying to, I guess, want the best for his boy. And who doesn't, So that's all. That's probably where that's coming from. He's going to be very vocal when it comes to his son and talking with the front office and also the coach, Mitch Johnson, as well. So I think that's where all that chatter's coming from.
Yeah, so we saw during the NFL draft that backfired. Having Deion Sanders being involved so much backfired when it came to Shador. But in the NBA, there's a 3-for-3 record where it's worked, where the dad's been backing up their kids. Well, I said 3-for-3. I forgot about the third ball brother. So it worked out when they put their all the cards on the table when it came to Lonzo, when it came to LaMelo. Lagello fell off, or whatever the hell his name is, but it's not always bad to have a parent backing you up, fellas. So let's give Dylan Harper a chance. If Ron turns out to be the asshole that a lot of people claim he is, well, it is what it is.
I don't think he will be. I think he's going to be just like Tyrese Halliburton's dad, for example. Just be a guy out there in the stands, just cheering on his son, being
Flexing
excited
on
for him.
Giannis.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you know what, Papa Halliburton, man, you got to give the brother props, man. He did
Stood
not
on
back
business.
down. He's standing on business, bro. He went toe to toe with them. He's like, let's go. So you know what? Kudos to Papa Halliburton, man. But I think Ron Harper, Dylan Harper's dad's probably going to be the same. He's just probably going to be in the stands, excited for his boy and whatnot. I know like I said, we don't really know what's happening right now. You just hear a lot of this chatter going on. And it could be just like clickbait articles, things like that coming through the pipe, because it's going to be slow until, you get the draft coming up here tomorrow. And then all hell's going to break loose because not only do you have the draft happening tomorrow, but you already have some deals being had, when it comes to NBA free agency. So that's going to be going on, as well. So there's going to be a lot of things that are going to be spinning out there. Hopefully the Spurs will jump into the fray. And like I said, maybe go out there and get a veteran or two to add to the team and make it a little bit better. That's all I'm looking for. At the end of the day, I know we complain a lot and people don't like our style of complaining and we're too hard on the team. But at the end of the day, man, I think everybody wants the same thing. They just want this team to get better. Everybody wants to see the team go to the playoffs, and make a playoff run. It's been quite some time since we've seen the team make the playoffs or even get into the play-in. And, it's going to be an exciting time because as a Spurs fan, you want to have that magic in the air, when it's Fiesta. It's Fiesta and the Spurs going to the playoffs. They go hand in hand, man. And I love the days of old when you'd go out there and it was a certain time of the year. Fiesta was coming around, and you could feel the electricity in the air because Spurs fans knew that this team was playoff bound. And you could see the Spurs flags all over the city, Spurs flags on the cars. They had the little car flags all over the place. Everybody wearing their Spurs, jerseys or their Spurs t-shirts, the bootleg shirts from the side of the road. I want to see all that happening again, man. It's a special time in San Antonio. Doesn't matter where you get your merch from, just as long as you support the team. I think at the end of the day, that's all we're saying too. Doesn't matter how you fan, just as long as you support the team. At the end of the day, we all want the same thing. We want to see this team get make make them, we want to see Mitch Johnson and the front office make the Spurs great again and get them back to that promised land, into the hopefully into the playoffs this upcoming season. Is are y'all doing the pod during the NBA draft tomorrow? I'm not sure. I'm gonna ask Mike because we had to find out if he's gonna even be in the country. He's still waiting to get on a damn plane somewhere. So if he is, and we probably will do something. I think me and Mike will. Maybe we'll have some guests. Maybe we can have you on as well, Elias, and kind of react to the Spurs and their draft picks. And it's going to be after the NBA draft because I'm not going to get out of work till about 9 o'clock. So we're going to do anything live, it's going to have to be around the 9 o'clock hour. So sorry about that, guys, but that's all the time we have. And look at Tony Ornelas says we are mad at Jerry Jones and that energy goes to the Spurs. Seriously. Y'all are going to a draft party at the Rock. Unfortunately, I'll be working Hanover Fist, so I can't make it. But I heard some chatter here in the chat, and people were saying, well, we need to get together to go ahead and get together to watch the NBA draft. If y'all are wanting to go ahead and go to a family-friendly environment and watch the NBA draft, just go to the Rock at La Cantera. That's a nice place, man. It's the parking situation has gotten a lot better there, so you can go ahead and easily park there. They're going to probably have the Spurs not the Spurs Silver Dance, but the Spurs hype squad out there. The Coyote, they probably got DJ Quake out there. It'd be a good time, man, to go out and just hang out outside as the sun starts to set a little bit and things get cooler, and be able to watch the NBA draft unfold there with the other Spurs fans, man. So I would go ahead and pick that place. If it was up to me, I would be over at the Mad Pecker supporting my boy Jason and all them because they just opened up the Mad Pecker again. So we got to have like a happy hour or something out there for the gente, man, and go out there and pump some money into the small business out there. Give love to the small business owner. He goes, boys, Mad Pecker, let's do it. Hey, man, Mad Pecker's not a bad place, bro. You've been out there, I think, before too, Elias. You were out there with us one time at the Mad Pecker.
Yeah. It's a pretty good environment, Joe. It was a good time. It was a good time. I recommend y'all go ahead and form a group within the chat and meet up over there. Your boy lives 2 hours away, so I'm not gonna make that drive for the draft.
Yeah.
Especially if we keep the number 14, I'm gonna be mad as fuck for just 2 and have a 2-hour drive back steaming.
Look at this Tony analysis. Silver Dancers come back, Sohan will be a better player. Word on the street, that's where they had to get rid of him, man. And look at that. Leja says, I'm meeting a couple of Twitter folks downtown to shout, damn, he goes, to shout, fuck damn picks. There you go, man. He says, don't let Cedric Coward slide to OKC, man. Take him with the 14 pick. And that's the chatter right now that I've been hearing, on some of these mock drafts now. Didn't hear that name before. Then all of a sudden it came out of nowhere yesterday when I was watching CBS Sports. I watch CBS Sports. I don't really watch ESPN at all. I might see a clip of ESPN, and the screaming head Stephen A. Smith up there somewhere, but I don't watch that, man. I'd rather watch like CBS Sports, for example, because it's just showing you the highlights of the day. They're talking sports, they're talking NFL, NBA, everything, but it's not done like a screaming head, like for entertainment purposes, like ESPN does. It's more straightforward.
ESPN has become kind of like a soap opera channel, Joe, if we're being honest. They're even posting unconfirmed stuff on their pages and having to delete or retract their statements. So I don't know. Is this the fall off of ESPN? Who knows it, right? But
yeah, look at this. July 26 says that he may be an option if Carter Bryant isn't available, and they're referring to Coward. They said, what a name, Coward. They don't want to have that on the back of a jersey, I guess.
Man, but you really unlocked the memory, Joe, when you were talking about those side of the road knockoff T-shirts. Even in my hometown of Crystal City, we're about 4 miles big in each direction. We used to have this lady set up with a canopy. She had those Obi-Wan Kenobi shirts.
With the flowing locks.
Yeah, especially when we won the 2007 championship, they had their own knockoff shirts.
The flags, Elias, no doubt, no lie. Back then, were freaking fire, dude.
Bro, I have one that the window flag from 2014 that says NBA champions.
Yeah.
When you used to roll them up manually before we had the automatic bullshit. I still have that laying around somewhere in my house, and I believe my mom had a #1 Spurs fan license plate, but San Antonio was misspelled. Get this shit, it was ANTT Onio. Like you could tell it was a knockoff. But as long as we were repping the fandom, it didn't really matter.
Yeah, man. I that's what I'm saying, dude. I used to like all that back in the day, and I'm looking to see what the Spurs, like you all were saying, their big sponsor was, and I'm seeing it being reported as you had put on there that the blockchain firm, the crypto blockchain firm Ledger, is going to be on the new Spurs jerseys going forward for this season. So, man, at least it's not a big L, right?
Yeah. I'll take that trade off, bro.
And you can see, I mean, they're showing what it looks like, and I'll show you what I'm seeing here, so y'all can take a look at it. Because they had a big announcement. I know our boy over there, RJ Marquez of KSAT 12. Shout out to you, RJ. Him and his wife are amazing people, man. I love them. They're nothing but he's good gente, man. If you ever see him out there at the Frost Center, just go up and say hi to him, man. He's good people. He put that out there. They were showing the unveiling of the new crypto blockchain firm Ledger, who's going to be on the jerseys. And right here, you can see Matt Guzman on Twitter, on the X. He's putting up what the logo is going to look like on the jersey.
Now you're gonna have to get one of those iron-on patches, the P, put it up front for Pledger and hook him up with the jersey.
All right, we should do that, man. Instead of Ledger, put Pledger.
Put Pledger, since he's always on here cooking Mike. Gotta show love to James Pledger over there at San Antonio
man.
Sports Hour.
One of the other things too that we're going to mention here. I know that we're getting close to our time here, but I wanted to kind of show this because Jeff Garcia, and we need to give him some love here, of the Locked On Spurs podcast, had posted something with that let's say podcast that Kevin Hart's doing, the Coldest Balls podcast with Victor Wembanyama. He put up a little excerpt of that, and it shows that Wemby actually gained some weight here, because we're kind of critical of him, always saying, hey, he needs to put on some pounds. Yeah, Wimpy Ganas. Well, he's kind of getting fuerte now, so we'll come back and talk about that after we go ahead and give some love to the Locked On Spurs podcast. Locked On Spurs is your daily Spurs podcast, hosted by Jeff Garcia, the lead Spurs writer for Ken's 5 San Antonio. Jeff has a healthy plethora of guests all the time on the Locked On Spurs podcast. You can also follow Jeff on Threads at Jeff G Ken's 5 SA. You can also follow Jeff on Twitter at Jeff G Spurs Zone. So make sure you go ahead and give Jeff a follow, not only on Threads and Twitter, but also on YouTube at youtube.com/@Locked On Spurs. This is where you're going to be able to find the replay of the Locked On Spurs podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share. And there you go. Make sure you do subscribe to the Locked On Spurs podcast. That's going to be your daily Spurs content. And you can go ahead and check out the Locked On Spurs podcast on all major podcast platforms, including Spotify and the Apple podcast as well. And also, like I said, make sure you subscribe to his ever-growing YouTube channel and give him some love. But Jeff actually was posting this. I saw this earlier today when I was scouring the X to see what we're going to talk about. And this is an excerpt from the Kevin Hart podcast, Cold as Balls, with one Victor Wembanyama talking about how he's gained some weight here in the offseason.
What did you come in at? You came in at how much?
Probably like 30, I think probably like 30 pounds.
30 pounds since coming to the NBA?
Yeah. 2 years.
Holy shit. Holy shit. 30?
Around that, yeah.
What did you come in? You weighed how much when you came into the league?
I'd say like 215, 220.
And right now you're coming in at
245.
245. You look it though, solid, stronger.
Thank you.
And is it just strength and conditioning? What have you added to the regimen that's allowed you to gain the weight?
Yes. I mean, strengthening, of course, but the main thing for me is I could, in theory, put on a lot of weight, but I would lose some of my mobility, some of my athleticism. So it's something that needs to be done really carefully, and I have a lot of eyes and a lot of minds thinking about me in this instance.
So check that out, man. Wemby's put on 30 pounds since coming into the league, and we're calling him Wemby Ganas. He's getting fuerte, dude. He's getting strong there since he's come into the league.
He said he weighs what, about 245?
245?
I weigh 255, and I carry that weight way different than Wembanyama carries it, Joe.
So I'm like, damn, man. I mean, Wemby Wemby's been doing some weightlifting or something, dude. Maybe he's got himself a Latina. She's cooking him tortillas, giving him tacos or something, dude. Just
He's
putting
on
on
that.
that weight.
He's on that torta diet, and over there where he was with the Shaolin monks, they had to be hooking him up with those ancient meals. Probably had some powers in him, something caused him to bulk up. But he's looking good, Joe. I don't think he's gonna get pushed around as he once did. Especially his
No,
rookie year, bro. He spent every time on his ass. It was like, bro, take your ass to the bench. You're leaving an indention on the hardwood. But I'm glad he's putting up the weight. If you do recall, it took a while for Giannis Antetokounmpo to come into the body that he has now, and now look at him. He's bullying everyone, steamrolling over everyone. I think that'll be Wembanyama within the next 3 years or so.
and Wemby looking good right now, man. He's gonna put on some weight. Hopefully, that'll translate to him staying healthy, getting better out there on the court, helping the team win. I know I give him a lot of flack, and I always call him Wimpy Ganas and this and that. But at the end of the day, I want to see him do good, dude. I want to see him, go out there and put on a great performance. And also, people are asking, hey, how do they go ahead and send us their information to get their shirts? That way we can get their sizes and get their addresses and all that. I got the perfect solution here, man. Just go ahead and email us here at the Alamo City Podcast Network at gmail.com. That way we can go ahead and get you the shirts sent to you, courtesy of one MCS General Contracting and Chris Leja. Reach out to us, man. Send us an email, give us your name, and also go ahead and give us your address. If your name was Tony Ornelas, Big Sean PD, who else were we giving
Mario Cavazos,
Mario Cavazos
and Sam Salinas.
And Sam Salinas. So there you go. If your name came up there, go ahead and reach out to us at Alamo City Podcast Network at gmail.com, and that way we can go ahead and make sure we get those shirts out to you guys right away, because it's really easy to do. We just need the sizes, we put in the order, and we have them sent directly to you guys. So all that's taken care of, courtesy of MCS General Contracting and Chris Leja. So Sith, anything else you want to go ahead and promote as we start bringing the show to a close here? Because I know you do your show called Plead the Sith.
Yeah, so I have tonight's episodes releasing around 7:30. It's my interview with Jeff Garcia. I had Rudy Campos Jr. co-host with me on that one. He usually is just behind the scene producing. We accidentally released the audio last week though, so some of y'all might have heard it, but tonight will be the actual premiere of our sit down video. So yeah, catch that tonight, 7:30. Joe, they could be on the lookout for your episode sometime in July. If we have to push it, then we'll push it. I believe Michael Jimenez agreed to sign on too, and you guys know I'm not going to take it easy on him. I'm going to be Michael the Mouth Jimenez is what he's getting called for that episode. But other than that, thanks for having me, Joe. Much love to the Alamo City crew.
And look at this, Tony Ornelas says, we got a DM Joe. Speaking of Joe, trying to DM you but not getting the option. How can we reach out to you? We just went ahead and gave you all the email address there. If you need to go ahead and reach out to us, I'll put it up again, so you can go and see that. The email address is right there, man. It's Alamo City Podcast Network at gmail.com. So if you want to send us a DM or anything else, go ahead and reach out to us there. Again, it's Alamo City Podcast Network at gmail.com. And make sure you go and check out Plead the Sith there. It's going to be airing again tonight. And it's again on Sweep the League TV on YouTube. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe to them. So that's about all the time we have for today's show, man. You want to give a shout out to anybody?
Yeah, shout out to the Sucios. Shout out to my boy Swiss, Bear, Castro, Leja, Jeff, Joe, being member of USOA. Shout out to everyone here in the chat. Hooper Flash, get at him if you ever need. If you're ever in the lookout for some cards, whether it be wrestling, baseball, football, he has them all. Shout out to the whole Sweep the League crew as well. Rudy, Gio, Gervin, Jacob, Anthony. I could go on and on, but shout out to everyone out here. Y'all have a beautiful day. Thanks for joining us here today. Jason Garcia, my Sith handle is Darth Sucio _95 if you want to hit me with a follow.
Yeah. One thing that we are going to wind up doing too, because we have had some great supporters here. Not only have they been here since the beginning, but a lot of you guys have also shown your support by giving us a ton of super chats. So for you boys that have been giving us super chat after super chat after super chat, we got something special for you guys. We're going to go ahead and start making out are making some boxes, much like the Spurs did back in the day. And it's going to be a branded box. It's going to have the Area 210 on there. We're going to put some goodies inside that, and we're going to send it off to you guys. So I'll be reaching out to you all soon. Once I go ahead and get some of the merch in here, and it's going to be ready for delivery, I'll reach out to you guys and send you all Area 210 podcast box, and it's going to have some goodies in there, like I said. And we did just go ahead and purchase. Well, I purchased a brand new laser engraver. So this is like a top of the line and expensive laser engraver. So we're going to be able to make our merch now. We're going to be able to make hats. We're going to be able to make, any type of merchandise we can think of, mugs, wallets, keychains, all sorts of stuff. And we're going to go ahead and be selling that on an online store as well. I do have stickers, the Area 210 podcast stickers that I already have here in hand. So we'll be sending some of those out as well. So we appreciate y'all's support. And it's just a way of us giving back to you guys. And we'll have contests and other things going on as well, because we do have a lot of things that we need to get rid of. So go ahead and if you're one of the winners for today's t-shirt that Chris Leja sponsored, the t-shirt giveaway, again, go ahead and get with us. I'll show you the address right now. The email address, again, it's Alamo City Podcast Network @gmail.com. Go ahead and send us your name, send us your address, and also the t-shirt size that you're wanting. And most importantly, what shirt do you all want us to send you? So we need to have all that information, and we'll get the shirt sent out to you. So for Elias, I'm Joe Garcia. Thank you all for watching another episode of the Area 210 podcast. And you know what? Take it easy. And tomorrow we'll see you all. Hopefully we'll have Mike Jimenez on here. That way we can kind of go ahead and give you some more information when it comes to the NBA draft. So we'll see you boys. Stay safe. Peace.